What's up, everyone? Welcome into Fantasy Football Office Hours, brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm Simon, here with Joey and John Luke to answer any and all of your Week 8 fantasy football questions and beyond. So if you've got them, throw them in the chat. If this is your first time joining us and we help you out, hit that subscribe button. Easiest way to show your support. And if you don't want to miss us going live to help you out with these questions in the future, the notification bell can accomplish that task. We're going to jump right into it. Dennis had a question for us. Said half PPR, just got offered Olave for Rashee Rice. Should I accept ASAP or am I missing something because of the reckless driving stuff, suspension coming in? I know there's hype around Rice going into the second half of this season, but Joey, are you accepting this offer? Smash accept, take Olave and run?
I am. I'm like the Olave, like anti-Olave guy, and I would still rather have Olave out of these two. Rashee Wright hasn't completely proved it to me yet. In Dynasty, I think this question's a lot more interesting, but I would still take Olave.
Joe, it looks like you're agreeing. You're taking Olave as well.
Yeah, I would lean on the Olave side of this in both formats, Dynasty and Redraft.
Yeah, I think it's, especially in Redraft, Olave and run. We're hoping Rashee Rice can develop into a consistent contributor for the Chiefs. Olave is the top receiving option for that Saints team. And then Dennis had one more question for us. Said, got to drop one, half PPR, Jaylen Warren, JSN, or Tank Dell. Oh, brutal, man.
What I'm going to say.
What are you going to say, JL? Jaylen Warren?
Jaylen Warren, yep.
Man, I just...
Less than 10 rushing attempts every single game.
But outscored Najee Harris every single week except for one. Like, he just seems to be the more explosive running back there in that offense.
I think because probably a lot of teams are expecting Najee to be the main guy.
Yeah, I mean...
Not anything against Jaylen Warren. I don't think that he has, like, staying power. I don't think his value is going to stay where it is.
I think
for me,
go ahead, Joey.
Yeah, for me, it's Jaylen Warren by default. I mean, especially with Robert Woods now being ruled out for Week 8, Tank Dell's finally going to get a little uptick in targets that we've all been hoping for. JSN, you're not dropping JSN. DK Metcalf has been a little unhealthy from week to week. That might tail off towards the end of the year. But even though JSN is now getting involved in the game there in Seattle, so that's exciting to see. So it's just Warren by default. He's in a timeshare at best right now with Najee Harris.
Yeah, I think it's Warren. I just think I disagree on the premise of Warren being like a complete afterthought to Najee Harris. Like, I think there's a real chance we see him as the primary running back by end of season with the way he's looked out there. But
all 5'8" of them.
Your options are limited. Yeah, but Najee Harris is like 6'11", who runs like he's 5'6", and Jaylen Warren is like 5'6", but runs like he's 6'11". That dude runs just straight at people. I don't know how it works. Eddie in here wanted to know flex full PPR, DeMercado, Jeff Wilson Jr. if Mostert is out, or Tank Dell. John Luke, who are you plugging in here?
Tank. It's got to be Tank.
It's got to be Tank. Tank for you as well, Joey?
Yeah, Mostert is practicing today. Excuse me. So it would be Tank Dell for me.
I like Tank Dell this week. Craig wants to know who's scarier, Freddy, Jason, or the puppet from Saw?
Jason, the puppet from Saw? It's a puppet.
The guy, the main Saw guy?
Yeah, but he's just a puppet. So it's got to be Freddy or Jason.
It's Freddy for me. I mean, you can't go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's where he gets you.
It's a big downside. Jason, I like sleeping.
I mean, yeah, he's a immovable object, but there's ways to take out Jason. Freddy, it's a lot trickier.
Am I the only one who has like a innate fear of puppets? Like, they just are a little bit scary.
I do, but not scarier than the other two guys who are going to kill you.
I mean, if we're talking puppets, I'm more afraid of Chucky than I am Jigsaw.
True.
I've never seen that one. Gonna have to watch it. Dennis has a kicker question for us. Says, I have Cleveland's Hopkins with Ford out, Hunt banged up. Not sure if Pierre Strong gets Hopkins into range, considering streaming Dicker, Group, Patterson, or Gay. So this brings up maybe more of like even a meta question. When the offense looks like it's severely downgraded, do you shift off of that kicker, JL? Would you be looking to make this move?
No, my kicker strategy is very aligned with how many points I think the offense is going to score. Or there are situations in which the offense is struggling scoring, but they're able to get close enough in which a kicker has more opportunity. I'm not shifting off.
Joey, are you shifting off of Cleveland's kicker?
I would play Dicker's the kicker for the Chargers, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I would play Dicker out of this group.
I
think the Chargers put a lot of points up on the Bears. JL's line of thinking.
Eddie in here wants to know, trade Ridley for Downs in full PPR. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'll make that move after 6 weeks of bad Ridley performance and ascending Josh Downs with Gardner Minshew out. Got it. That hurts, but I think I'm doing it.
I don't know if I am. Josh Downs, we have seen. Oh God, his targets aren't bad though. His targets aren't bad. I think I'd stick with Ridley.
I would stick with Ridley and redraft in Dynasty. I would make the move for Downs.
Matt wants to know, is the dude in the pink in a costume or did he recently get rhinoplasty?
I don't know what rhinoplasty is, but both.
I just Googled it and there was a lot of pictures of noses. So I'm assuming that's a fancy name for a nose job.
Yeah, it's a nose job.
Mm-hmm. Brad in here said, I'm 3 and 4 half cut, but also Jefferson. Do I trade Justin Jefferson for DJ Moore and Christian Kirk?
No. Just hold Jefferson.
Who's in that flex spot? Jail, if that flex spot is Wan'Dale Robinson, would you rather start Jefferson and Wan'Dale Robinson or DJ Moore and Christian Kirk on a weekly basis?
Jefferson and the other guy, because then I could just swap him out and put someone else in.
Right. I guess the point I'm trying, like, this does depend on me. Like, I'm assuming both those guys will be starters, and who is the replacement player that Christian Kirk is going in for? Like, if DJ Moore subs in for Jefferson, on the surface, I say no, but that player could be bad enough that
DJ Moore has not been good the last 2 weeks. He doesn't have Justin Fields. I just feel like he's dependent on, like, the situation's got to be right, like perfect for him to do well. Christian Kirk, yeah, he's definitely overperforming his draft position, but it's Justin Jefferson. I'd rather have the main guy.
Joe, you with John Luke here, just staying with Jefferson?
I'm not. And it's because you're 3 and 4. If you were 5 and 2, I would stick with Jefferson, but being 3 and 4, I mean, you got to win now. Like, I know
you do.
You could come on later. I think you do.
Almost,
starts getting to the slippery
50-50.
slope. That extra. I know. I'm scared. The Jefferson. It's looking like maybe week 10, week 11. That's 3 or 4 weeks away. If DJ Moore and Christian Kirk help you win now,
fine with it.
It's
a tough one.
It's tough. Yeah.
It's tough to move on from a player like Jefferson, especially when they're injured. It makes the value so confusing. Dane wants to know, in half PPR, y'all starting Najee versus Jacksonville, Miles Sanders versus Houston, or Marquise Hollywood Brown versus Baltimore? Gross. Joey, what are you doing here?
I'm probably going to go with Hollywood, even though I don't like the matchup at all. He is getting targeted a lot by Joshua Dobbs, so it would be Hollywood here. I'm just not trusting Najee right now, and Slime Sanders. That's funny.
Slime Sanders.
Against Houston, I like the matchup, but I don't really trust Miles Sanders until I see him back on the field.
Jaguar secondary has been very, very bad, and because of that, I think teams just haven't run the ball against them very much. I think it's not that they have an elite defensive line, but they're bottom 7 in points allowed to running backs, or top 7 in points allowed to running backs on the season. So I expect this to be a game for Kenny Pickett, for Deontay Johnson, for George Pickens. I'm leaving Najee on the bench and probably rolling Hollywood out as well.
Yeah, Hollywood for me as well.
Also, Craig in here said, some people are afraid of puppets. Shrug. That is me. Matt wants to know, Bills or Falcons DST. So the Falcons going up against the Tannehill-less, we're assuming Will Levis-led Titans team. Bills have the Buccaneers tonight. I think I'll go Falcons against the Tannehill-less Titans tonight, or this Sunday. What are you guys doing?
I feel like Tampa Bay is going to really struggle tonight. I'm having a hard time finding paths in which they're able to subvert this Buffalo Bills team. So I think the defense does well. I'd take the Bills.
What if we start calling them Booker Mayfield? Then might they have a path?
Chance.
Then there's a chance.
I like DSTs on Thursday nights. It's like a fun little play that's actually panned out pretty well over the years, week to week. If there's a good DST playing on Thursdays, you play them.
That's a great point, Joey. Think of all of the just horribly disappointing Thursday night football games that we've had. Mm-hmm. Those were good defensive performances. Dennis said DST stream. So we got another question here. Falcons versus Titans, Lions versus Las Vegas, Chargers versus Chicago, again with their backup quarterback, or Houston versus Carolina, or Dolphins?
Dolphins. Oh, I think I think it might be who the Lions going up against?
Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think it's Lions.
You going Lions here?
I think I'm going Lions. Yep.
Chargers defense has been absolutely abysmal, but they are playing a quarterback that I think they're not going to be too scared of. So they might be able to stack the box a little bit and not have that secondary be as exploited as we've seen in weeks past. Yeah, I'll go Chargers here, even though they've had a bad defense. I'm not buying into 2 successful weeks from Tyson Bagent in a row. Joey, what are you doing?
I've got Lions at my 10th ranked defense for the week and the Chargers at the 11th. And I moved the Lions down from 8th to 10th. So it's still the Lions. But with Jimmy G now expecting to play, expect the Raiders to do a little bit better than they would have with Hoyer or Aiden O'Connell. So, but it's still Lions for me.
Dame wants to know, in Dynasty, if the Bijan owner is win now and injuries have derailed me, would you offer Tyreek Hill for Bijan straight up? Liked my pairing of Jay Jettas with Tyreek, but have 5 starters out now. This is, I don't mind this move, Dame. If you think you're out of it this year, you're trading in an older, aging asset whose value is probably about to start dropping. Like we look, JL, you always like to talk about that curve. Tyreek Hill is probably still, but he's approaching the top of that value curve. Cash in for a Bijan Robinson, arguably the number 1 player in Dynasty. I like it. You guys like it?
I thought, Dame, I thought you were asking if you would trade away Bijan for Tyreek. And I was preparing myself to deliver that news that I don't think you should do that. But you're on the other side of this, which means I have great news for you. I would absolutely do this. Yeah, this is a great move. Bijan Robinson's going to have a ton of lifetime value. Tyreek Hill, Simon's right. It's waning.
Scampers in here said Roshan clears protocol, expects to play. Woohoo! And then Tommy wants to know Miles Sanders, Gabe Davis, Hopkins, pick 2. I'm guessing DeAndre Hopkins. Joey, which 2 of those are you plugging in?
Davis and Hopkins. Even though Hopkins really hasn't looked that good and he's going to be with a rookie quarterback, I still trust him over a possibly re-injured Miles Sanders.
Yep.
I'm with you. Call it unanimous, Tommy. Grim wants to know Hurts or Herbert this week. What's the status with Olave with his arrest on Monday? So I don't think we've seen any update around disciplinary action for Olave. Probably.
I don't know that they plan to. Yeah. If they do, I doubt it would be this week. So I think you could play him if he's still there. He's practicing.
I'll go Hurts. You guys going?
He's
Hurts
my number 1
Herbert?
quarterback.
Yeah, I think it's Hurts.
Mm-hmm. Green Screens Media wants to know, why is Joey no longer a cat?
That's a great question.
The black pencil thing I had was itching my nose, and it was like all smudged on my lips and stuff. So, and I have to pick up my kids after this. However, if it makes me feel better, I definitely got like a Eugene Levy eyebrow situation going on, and I don't know how to get rid of it. So, if that makes any, I'm gonna have to wear a hat for a couple of days probably.
Joey Levy. Liam in here wants to know, would you trade Brees and Ayuk for Bijan and Cup? Joey, you making this?
That is a fun trade.
That's a big boy trade, Liam. Yeah, give it to me. Give me Bijan and Cup.
I'll take Brees and Ayuk.
Oh, Brees is gonna look so good down the stretch. I'm taking Bijan and Cup though.
It's Bijan and Cup for me. I still believe
my favorite dish.
Bijan and Cup.
Bijan and Cup.
What's in the cup? Anything.
Bijan.
More Bijan.
Did you see his Bijan Robinson's Dijon mustard slogan? It's like a touchdown in your mouth.
Oh, that's
so good. So good and gross.
Very.
Eric wants to know, full PPR, would you start Damian Pierce over Alexander Madison? So we'll start with that one. Joey, Mr. Damian Pierce, you doing this?
I am. This is the Damian Pierce week. I was telling people go trade for him when he was on his bye week. He's going against Carolina this week. It's the Damian Pierce week. Welcome to it. What about you?
I kind of like Alexander Madison. I'm going Alexander Madison.
Panthers are giving up 29.3 PPR fantasy points per game to the running back position. The only team worse than them is the Broncos currently. Haven't been big on Pierce, but I'll roll Pierce out this week. It's the matchup and matchup alone.
I mean, Madison is going up against Green Bay, who has also been awful against the run.
Yeah,
their matchups are comparable.
They are comparable. It's like the worst versus like the 5th worst, and Madison might be a better running back. So he's going to kill me. I was just trying to get a reaction.
No, I mean, you can say that. It doesn't make it true. It's just,
No. Brad in here wants to know, Oh, wait. This is just giving us an update on his lineup. Said he was 3-2, but lost 2 straight. Scored 80 in both weeks. That's brutal right there. Mr. Scampers has a Scott Fishbowl question for us. Says, I need 2. Rachaad White at Buffalo, Kareem Hunt at Seattle, DeMercado versus Baltimore, or Miles Sanders versus Houston. Based on what you guys have said previously, I'm assuming Miles Sanders is out on this one as one of the options. But who would those 2 guys be?
Probably White and Hunt.
Yeah. Hunt's the slam dunk, yes. With Jerome Ford out now this week.
Against Seattle.
Against Seattle, yeah.
I think I'd go Rachaad White and Hunt.
I said on the last show, if Rachaad White doesn't perform tonight, I could see them making a shift, either Sean Tucker or Chase Edmonds. Rachaad White, his fantasy numbers have looked good because he's going to gain check down work. But that check down work is basically hollow yardage. It's not going for anything. And I think the Bucs are in a position where they can win their division and compete in the playoffs. Okay, they're not going to compete in the playoffs, but they can win the division because that division is weak.
Weak. Tommy said, add on to my Sanders Davis Hopkins question. My league is dumb and has 2 points for every 10 rush yards, but not receiving. So rush yards are basically double receiving yards is what it looks like. Does Sanders move ahead of either at all if that's the case? Because we said Gabe Davis and DeAndre Hopkins. For double rush yard points, are you moving Sanders ahead?
I probably would, but I feel gross about it. Talk to your league. Start a revolt against this rule. Get everyone on board and then take down the commissioner and then become the commissioner. Like
Sanders hasn't. I like that strategy for your coup there, Joey. Sanders hasn't been getting that many rush yards, so I don't know that this affects it a ton. I mean, not including this past week where he didn't get any, the 3 weeks previous to that, he got 24, 19, and 32 rush yards. So I don't know that it's really impacting too much until we see more from him, until we see more usage.
Yeah, if he was averaging like 50 yards a game, which would normally be bad, I would probably say, yeah, plug him in over those guys because then that's 10 points. But
yeah, this is like 2 or 3 points.
Yeah. I like the upside of the wide receivers better in there. Dennis says, last one. Thanks a lot, boys. Half PPR start 2. Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley, Devonta Smith, Chris Olave, Deontay Johnson. And yes, I traded like a god. Dennis, thank you for putting this in there. It's been a lot of scraps in these questions, but you brought the loaded roster. Pick from the cream of the crop. Who are you guys plugging in? Is there an obvious must start from this bunch?
Let's see. Deontay Johnson, Tank Dell, Nico Collins.
So many good names. Devonta Smith.
They feel like all locks. I think Devonta Smith, you got to lock in.
Yeah, I would too.
And we're picking
it's
one.
It's not like he's been killing it lately, though, recently.
I want to go Nico. I do. I know Chris Olave is probably the popular answer, but I really want to go Nico Collins, especially if Robert Woods no longer going to be playing this week. Let's see the uptick in targets for Collins against Carolina. And listen, Dennis, you're a trade god. Go trade one of those wide receivers and a running back for a better running back.
Perfect running back.
I think I'm with you. Nico Collins is definitely in there for me. Devonta Smith hasn't been like a slam dunk start this season.
It's coming though.
I know, and I don't want to bench him during that time, but like Olave seems like a great start this week. Deontay Johnson against that Jaguars secondary. I'm excited about the Steelers offense this week against the Jags. I think it's still Collins and Devonta Smith, but man, Olave and Deontay Johnson, I want to get in there.
I just feel like this is the Devonta Smith week. Against Washington, it's a division matchup. This is a week to get him rolling. AJ Brown has all the fantasy points in the world. He can take a week off.
Squeaky mouse gets the cheese.
Yeah.
As our friend Scott Fish says. Eric in here wants to know full PPR, Hollywood Brown or Michael Thomas. Where are you guys going?
Let's see.
I don't like the matchup for Hollywood Brown. I think it's still him, though.
I think it is still
What's
him.
the matchup? We got Baltimore.
Ravens.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then New Orleans, they're going up against the Colts.
The Ravens have been pretty good against fantasy wide receivers so far this season, but I think I'm still rolling Hollywood Brown out there.
it's a Derek Carr issue for me. Like until Derek Carr starts throwing the ball more than 10 yards downfield.
Is their offensive line any healthier this week than it was last week? Because they were missing like 3 starters on the offensive line for the Saints last week. And that meant only Alvin Kamara got passes.
I think I would go Michael Thomas. I think I'm worried. I'm worried about Marquise Brown, playing him in a situation where the defense is so dominant and the offense is so hurt. Michael Thomas feels like there's a little bit more opportunity here.
Would it change for you if Kyler stepped on the field this week?
Yes, I would go Marquise Brown.
Because there's talk of that possibly happening.
Oh, that would be wild. That would be wild. We don't have to wait until week 10. Scamperson says half PPR tight end pickup and start. David Njoku, Logan Thomas, McBoo-Boo, or Jonnu. I'm guessing McBoo-Boo is McBride.
McBoo-Boo.
Pick up and start tight end options here aren't bad.
Oh, is it McBride?
I think I'm rolling Logan Thomas against the Eagles out there. They've got a pretty good front seven that should get pressure on Sam Howell, and Logan Thomas has been his safety blanket over the middle of the field to start the year. I just trust his volume the most out of these options this week.
Yeah, I like the Logan Thomas pick. I think the only other name I'd be really trying to go between is Jonnu Smith, who's been pretty decent.
Gross. I'm so mad that you can even say that. Awful.
It's between Thomas and McBride for me. I'll go Thomas.
Thomas. And Scampers wants to know who's losing the listener week this week.
You are, Scampers.
Cat, get out of here. Not me. And if it is me,
ow.
Let's see. Anthony has the most near-death experiences with 2. Dame has 1. Roto Heat Rick has 1. So I'd have to say those 3 are probably your betting odds favorites to go home with the number of near-death experiences they have. Chandler wants to know 12-team PPR. Quarterback is Burrow and Fields. Wide receiver, he's got Pollard, ETN, James Conner, Kyron Williams, and Hunt. Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, and Deebo Samuel at wide receiver. Kittle and Goddard at tight end. Likes his team, wants to know if there's any trades that he should try to make. Maybe a position group that he'd be looking to target. Joey, is there an area of weakness here that jumps out to you immediately?
I think your team is really, really well balanced. And I think you're on the surface, your quarterback looks like it might be weak because Fields is going to be out another week and Burrow hasn't performed. But I think Burrow is charging back. So I think Burrow is definitely a quarterback you want to have for the second half of the season. Honestly, I don't think your team's weak at all. You've got 2 number 13s in Keenan Allen and Mike Evans, which we learned on the last show. So yeah, I don't think I'm making any trades. I think I'm staying put. You've got good depth too within a 12-team league. If you have an injury, you've got options there. So that's good to have this time of year.
Joe, I saw you nodding along.
Yeah, I'm with Joey.
The only thing I could think is when Fields comes back, trade away Burrow for
there we go.
Like package Burrow with a wide receiver or a running back to upgrade at that position. But you don't need to make that move yet.
You'd rather have Burrow or Fields rest of the season over Burrow?
I think Burrow has more trade value, and I'm happy with both of these guys. So I think packaging Burrow with one of those guys is going to get you a little bit more with Fields coming back from injury.
Love it. Beautiful.
One more thing in here. I don't even think it's a question. Dennis just letting us know. And Dennis, this is hot. Managed the trade Tajay Spears, Deonta Foreman, and Miles Sanders for Mixon. Then flipped Mixon straight up for Bijan after that game last week. So what you did, Dennis, was turn Tajay Spears, Deonta Foreman, and Miles Sanders, 3 waiver wire level running backs, into Bijan Robinson.
Well done, my friend. Well done.
That's beautiful, Dennis. That's the power of trades, and that's the power of love. Guys, that is
a friendship.
That's going to be it for us today. Go forward with the power of friendship, the power of love, and the power of Bijan Robinson, and the power of that gold thing Joey was holding.
It was a friendship bracelet.
And it's a friendship bracelet. Wow. Joey's carrying the power of friendship on his wrist. We're going to be back next week, same time, same place. So make sure you guys are subscribed to our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy. Until then, though, we are out of here. Enjoy your Thursday night. We got one more question we're going to hit at the buzzer before we jump out of here. D-Hop, Pittman, Bourne, Johnson, or Kirk? Who are you playing, Joey?
Pittman.
Pittman, yep.
Pittman for me as well. Then Chandler wants to know Amari Cooper or Calvin Ridley this week. It's Amari Cooper for me.
Be Ridley for me.
Yeah,
Ridley for you. We got
Ridley,
2
yep.
Ridleys and 1 Cooper. That's going to be it for us, everybody. Enjoy Thursday night football. Enjoy your Halloween. Boo!
Ah.